Vikings versus Cowboys.
Don't stop, time to get it. Really ain't no competition, baby. I was born a winner, ayy. Ain't no amateur, ain't no beginner. Oh no, I ain't no pretender, baby. I was born a winner. Don't stop, time to get it. Really ain't no competition, baby. I was born a winner, ayy. Ain't no amateur, ain't no beginner. Oh no, I ain't no pretender, baby. I was born a winner. Hey, go hard, say I'm a big winner. Go hard, say you a big winner. Go hard, say I'm a big winner. Go hard, say we some big winners.
Good morning, Gjallarhorn. Except for we haven't got all the cameras going. What the heck? Over. New scene. Here we go. There we go. We're back. We have Drew, Ted, and Dave live for Good Morning Gjallarhorn in the Raw. Yeah, baby. We just defeated the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, under the roof, in climate-controlled conditions, on turf. Yeah, baby. We won. Dallas, you suck. Anyways, how you doing, Drew?
I am fantastic right now. Fantastic. What a game. Two heavyweights battling it out, exchanging punches the whole way through. That was a great football game.
Hey, it was a real close game. They were rated real close, as we discussed in our pregame show, and it was a close game.
Jungle Boogie. Jungle Boogie. I mean, look at Glover. He's having your fist right now, man. Happy with the shit-eating clam, as my Uncle Paulie would say.
What the hell are you drinking, Ted?
Some Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
Oh, my God.
Cheers,
man.
brother, to the win.
That's right.
What the hell are you drinking, man?
This?
Let me guess. It's an IPA because you just want to be a 25-year-old hipster, bro.
That's right. And here in Colorado, they have tons of IPAs. No, I'd already killed a six-pack of my Melvin, so I'm now on to Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze. And as you can see, it's quite hazy. But it actually tastes pretty good.
I had some Juicy Haze once. I had to go see the doctor about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, this was one of those games that got the heart going. Dum-dum, 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 dum-dum. What do you think, Drew?
I'm glad the defense stood up for one play. They got worked all night, and when they needed to step forward and make one big play down there towards the end, I don't even know. It seems kind of like a blur to me because my heart was pumping, but I think it feels like Dallas botched that whole thing at the end. I don't think they played it right, which is fine for me.
Oh, which is okay.
Yeah. It was. We needed that win. We needed to go in here and win since we lost that game at KC. Now I'm kind of, how we always want more. Mm-hmm. Damn, we could have came out in this roadie 2-0, baby. Just missed it barely. But backs were against the wall. We had to have this win. Team from Wisconsin won again today. If we lose this game, the division's gone in my mind. And we hung in there, and when we had to have a drive to take the lead, we did it. The Vikings, they have a lot of problems, but they won the game. We talk about you got to win the game somehow, and they figured out a way to win the game.
Yes.
Down a starting corner, down a starting wide receiver, not just a starting wide receiver, probably one of the best wide receivers in football, and down an interior defensive lineman, down three starters. They got it done, guys.
They got it done. And when the defense needed to stop because the defense was starting to look old, they got it. And that, to me, was just warmed my heart because all game we were worried about that.
Let me finish by saying we would be 0-9 without Dalvin Cook.
Oh, yes.
I don't think we'd win one game.
He's been a difference maker for sure.
God, I love the way that guy runs. It was just it started off really good. Then we kind of melted down, which we all kind of probably knew that was going to happen. But they didn't completely melt down and shithole the game away. They found a way to get it done, and I'm proud of them. Give Zimmer props, give everybody props, and great win for Minnesota.
Hey, you aren't the only one that thought that. Cali Kid, 619. What a game. What a game. Skull. He loved it. And we appreciate that. We are trying for the first time, not only live, well, it isn't the first time live, actually, when we went with the draft live, but we've got remarks. He also
Let's
passed.
get to Captain Morgan, Ted Glover's remarks first. Come on, Captain Morgan.
Well, he also passed that my dad is a Cowboys fan. I still got love for the Cowboys every night except for tonight.
Dude, your royalties are split and just get off this broadcast.
Dude,
I'm kidding.
but we love that you're a Vikings fan, and tonight you got to rejoice in it.
How about that win? Not that Glover every time I turn around. How about that win, huh?
How about them Cowboys?
How about them boys? They lost.
So I think this game was won at the end of the second half, or at the end of the first half, and I wasn't sure it was a. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't pleased. Went and kind of gave up the ghost and just kicked the field goal. But I was pretty impressed with their 2-minute drive to end the first half.
Yeah,
I thought they could have taken a shot into the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I think Jason Garrett out-Zimmered Zimmer on that last drive they had when they kicked the field goal, because that was just a dumb sequence of plays, I thought, to be quite honest. They ran Zeke Elliott, I think, on first or second down.
Mm-hmm.
And Dak had been chewing up the Vikings all night. He'd been carving up the Vikings secondary all night, and they decided to run the ball, and they got in a real bad down and distance, and they ended up having to kick a field goal, which I just wasn't really kind of fired up with their play call. I mean, I was as a Vikings fan, as a Cowboys fan, I would have been. I was thinking, what are they thinking? It worked out for the Vikes.
Ted, it kind of went in line with that going for that long ass field goal on the first drive they had.
Yeah, that was a dumb thing too. I'd have just gone for it on fourth down there.
Either that or punt it. I mean, it's the beginning of the game. You're putting your defense. You're giving your defense. You're putting them in a hard spot right off the bat. I mean, it's the beginning of the game. And I'm thinking, I'm glad they tried a 57-yard field goal. So
yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Garrett. I think he's going to be catching some flack for this game. But the two things I pointed out when we did the write-ups last week and we did the show, we talked about total scrimmage yard between Cook and Zeke.
Yes.
And then we talked about, I said whoever wins the total scrimmage yard between those two would win the game. And I also said if Dallas is over 50% on third downs, they were going to win the game. And I don't know how they finished. They were 7 for 10 at halftime.
Dallas was like, they had their third down conversion was ridiculous.
Oh,
and the Vikings secondary looked awful all night long. Mm-hmm. They had bad penalties. Mike Hughes looked bad with the exception of like 2 plays.
Holton Hill looked decent though.
He had 1 pass breakup.
But that's still better than nothing.
Ted, some of those Dallas conversions on third down were like 3rd and long too. Like
they were like 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 14.
Yeah.
You get off the field in third down, man.
Ridiculous.
Well, they got pressure, but they didn't get the sacks for the most part all night.
Really, I didn't think they got pressure at all unless they brought extra guys.
Right.
No, their four-man straight rush was not good tonight. I didn't think.
They they did keep Zeke Elliott in check, though, way more than I thought they would have.
Yeah.
Give me a chunk run he had. I don't think he had one.
Didn't have one.
Oh, speaking of which, let's bring up the stats.
Bring up what? The sacks?
Stats. Because I haven't brought up the stats.
Oh,
NFL.com. Yeah, buddy.
Stats.
Which is not ESPN, and I should go to ESPN. Let's go to ESPN.
Oh, here we go.
Here
we go.
Here we go once again.
Got four tackles.
Hey, Chicago beat Detroit, which is good. Fucking that team from Wisconsin. All right.
I will tell you.
Carolina wasn't going to help us.
They're the first two drives of the fourth quarter the Vikings had.
Mm-hmm.
The third quarter when they came out, they kicked the field goal. Dallas answered with a touchdown. I thought the key drive of that game was the Vikings, after Dallas had scored to take the lead at 21-20. The Vikings went on like a 12 or 13 play drive. You know, we talked about this all season, that the Vikings just, when the offense absolutely needed a drive, they had a hard time doing it. And tonight, in a hostile environment, on the road, outside because they opened the roof, Kirk Cousins of the Vikings offense went down and ran the ball down the Dallas's throat. And I think that was the one on fourth down where they had 4th and goal at the 1, and Zimmer played to win, and he had Dalvin Cook run off tackle and score a touchdown, which was awesome.
Dude, that whole sequence makes me think, why did I stop drinking 30 years ago? Dude, I wanted a belt so bad during that sequence. It seemed like we ran 16 plays and everyone was coming up a foot short of the goal line. And I'm going.
And then I thought what was even more impressive was deciding to go for it, to go for the 2-point conversion and converting with Kyle Rudolph to make it a 28-21 game, which turned out to be a huge difference maker because Dallas, instead of being down 3, was down 4, and they had to go for a touchdown instead of kicking a field goal, which they were definitely in field goal range. I mean, heck, that last drive they had, they went from their 5 to the Vikings 20 without breaking a sweat.
Right. Nate W. posts up. We asked how long was Ezekiel's runs. He said the longest was 6. And he also passes to us, Skol you ma. That's obviously in tribute to the Gophers yesterday.
Who are now 7th in the country. My beautiful stat girl right across the room here, let me tell you, woo, smoking. She just held up a sign that said Zeke Elliott only had 47 yards tonight. Really? That, my friends, was that's got to be a big spoke in the wheel of winning. You know what I mean?
Ezekiel Elliott, 20 carries, 47 yards, 2.4 yards per carry average.
Drew said on the pregame, Zim knows how to stop impact runners.
He does.
And he
does
was
stop
right.
Impact runners. I'd like to point something out with Zimmer tonight. When we had the ball down, I think it was before our first touchdown, we got it down to the 1 yard line, and we seemed things were a little bit off. He called a timeout. Mm-hmm. Got everybody settled down. We came out, and then we had that beautiful pass, I think, to Rudy. He caught the first 2, right?
Right.
Zimmer called a timeout, and I thought it was just perfectly called. We needed it right at the time.
You actually think Zimmer did something right? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
They called the timeout, and then they went over, and then they came back out, and they looked totally like aligned right, confident, and then they scored. And I even wrote something on the thread saying that was a really good timeout. And it's not often we can brag about timeouts, Ted, but that was, I think, a really well. We waste a lot of them, but that was we used timeouts for. Timeouts to read. And I thought Zimmer did really well with that.
I thought so too.
Absolutely. Now we have Cali Kid 619 again writes us. He was listening to the Lefty podcast, and teams that lead at halftime, win 80% of the game. Now, that actually came from Sharp Football Statistics in the Sharp podcast. That is true so far this season. And again, since we led by 3, it was only 3, we pulled out this win, and that was awesome. And with the second half play and Zim pulling out that timeout like you talked about, William E. tells us that was so unlike Zim. But yes, it worked, and it was great, and we appreciate that. What you guys probably don't see is I'm pulling the remarks into the screen. They will be on our broadcast.
You obviously are.
we probably don't see it.
Or you're just making shit up, whatever you're doing.
Come on, Spinal Tap.
Speaking of one, Miss Mary, great game, go Vikings.
Miss Mary, what up, Mary?
We love Mary.
Mary, keep on burning.
Proud
Anyways.
Mary, keep on burning.
But we love the results of this game.
Suck it, Gallup, you loser.
The Vikings now go to what? 7-3?
7-3, yeah.
One game behind Green Bay. We know that team from Wisconsin has to come to our house and play, where we have an advantage. Any game played in U.S. Bank, we have an advantage because of the fans. Yes. So, the division is still within our grasp. We just got to keep playing and go on and get it.
Well,
Next,
I mean,
what?
Today was a big day because the Rams lost.
Yes.
Seattle plays at San Francisco,
Which will be a tough one.
Regardless of what happened with the Vikings tonight, they still had the 6th seed
Right.
for the playoffs. But by them winning, they put more distance between them and the Rams and Carolina, who lost to the Packers. And if the Seahawks lose to San Francisco tomorrow, the Vikes moved to the 5 seed. And like you said, they still have, they're only 1 game behind the Packers. They still have the Packers at home. 6 more games to play. A lot could happen. I'm still thinking that the wild card is probably what the Vikings are going to get. But this win, coupled with Carolina losing and the Rams losing, really boosted the Vikings' playoff chances tonight.
Oh, yes, it did.
Tremendously.
How much? And I don't want to be the one that rains on a win, but come on, guys. How far can we go? with the secondary?
Drew, not you.
The way the secondary is, I mean, it's really
it was bad.
to me. I mean,
there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people saying, "Boy, Trey Waynes is out. It's about time. I can't wait to see Mike Hughes." You saw Mike Hughes.
Well,
you still happy Trey Waynes is out? Seriously?
Well, and Nate W. puts up, I don't give too much blame to Hughes, who was lined up against Cooper.
Look, Amari Cooper made some great plays. I'm not.
Oh, he did.
He has some toe tap catches that.
Oh, that I thought were out, but when you look back, they were in.
I got the floor. Hang on. I got the floor. Hang on.
Yeah, that's what I like to see.
Amari Cooper made some great plays. I'm not denying that. But Hughes was getting torched in the second quarter and in the third quarter without any toe tap sideline catches. I'm just saying. I mean, Dak Prescott,
right.
He needs to play.
Ripped up the Vikings secondary. He ripped them up. The Vikings secondary has gotten old and it has gotten unskilled, and it happened, I would argue, almost overnight.
And that's why I asked the question. I asked the question, Ted, because you go into the playoffs with a secondary like that, you ain't going to be hanging around too long.
No, they're going to be a one-and-done team if the secondary plays like that.
No, but we're still basically middle of the season-ish, and Hughes and Hill have time to catch up because We're not going to see it from Rhodes. Even Rhodes played a lot tonight. And we're definitely not going to see it from Waynes because we know Waynes doesn't play that way. So there is time, and they can get on a roll in the playoffs. And the Vikings can make that work. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Okay. All right.
Hold on. Ruby, you got that magic wand? I need to send it to Minnesota and wave it over the secondary a little bit.
Our friend.
You gonna sprinkle with some magic fairy dust? Because brother, that's the only thing that's gonna fix what's going on. Because Mike Zimmer's this defensive back guru, and even Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris got shredded. Other than that last play where Harris got that Hail Mary pick, the entire secondary
that wasn't Harris. That was Curse.
That was
whatever.
That was the worst the secondary has been worked all season.
Yeah.
Well,
and so you can rip on Waynes all you want, but he's out, and that's the worst game they have all season. I'm not saying he's the reason it was the worst, but it proves that he's not as terrible as people say he is.
Well, it's not the worst. We obviously won 28-24.
Well, you know what? You know what, guys? They could actually help themselves if they'd hold on to the interceptions.
Well, that I agree with.
Just had a pick six, and then Alexander dropped one right in his hands. Catch the ball. Help yourself. Help yourself out. Help you. Help me. Help my heart. Don't put me through that shit. Catch the ball. I'm really glad that we scored after that Irv Smith penalty because that kid's psyche may have got destroyed by that. That was a huge penalty. If we don't score there, we lose the game. He's going to be thinking about that the whole rest of the season.
I kind of thought Madison scored. It looked like he scored to me.
Well,
I thought he was in too.
But they showed it short by about 6 inches, and then they spotted it at a half a yard.
And then we got a 5-yard penalty, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
But that actually gave them more room to work, and it worked.
Well, I'm glad it worked out because Irv Smith probably felt like shit about that.
Wait, hold on. Is this a Davism? I gotta tell you, you're on first goal. What is like? You get a play game. You got more room to work.
We'll move back and give them more room to work, and they did it. Yes. And I'm not the only one who agrees. Mike Root agrees. He says yes.
About as far as Dave's concerned, Hughes and Mackenzie Alexander and Holton Hill are going to be fucking Charles Woodson and Ty Law by the playoffs. So I guess if you're not worried, I shouldn't be worried, huh?
Yeah.
They got that secondary.
We don't make Michigan references here.
Dude, that secondary got shredded like Eddie Van Halen. They got shredded.
They were bad. They were absolutely bad. I will say, with all the shortcomings we've been discussing with the Vikings tonight, like you said, Drew, they found a way to win.
Yes, they did.
Just like the University of Minnesota, it's a great weekend it is a great football weekend for the state of Minnesota. The Gophers found a way to pull out a win against Penn State, and the Vikings found out a way to beat Dallas. And I'll tell you, man,
it is a good day.
Things are looking up, at least for this week. Things are looking up.
Shout out to Minnesota, yeah! Shout out, Minnesota.
And for once, everybody's talking. This whole narrative going into this game, God, I was so sick of it. Is it Kirk Cousins can't win a big game against a good team on the road? Blah blah blah. Shut up. Just shut up for now, because Kirk Cousins played a good football game. Dalvin Cook had a good game, and the Vikings found out how to win. They just figured out a way, and they got it done.
They ran the football, baby. How I don't know what their rushing was. It's got to be up near 200 again.
Cook had 97 yards.
Cook had 97 yards rushing. He had 86 yards passing.
No, he didn't. He had 86 yards
Receiving. Yes.
Vikings had 153 yards. Cook had 97. He had over 100. Then that last drive, he just lost 5 yards.
Sorry,
Madison had 52. So yeah, they had 153 yards rushing on 30.
Golden Richards didn't help him tonight.
What? Kirk or I should say, Dalvin Cook outproduced Ezekiel Elliott. Boy,
Ezekiel, go Bucks.
Ezekiel.
indubitably,
Oh my God.
like Drew said.
Go
Anyways,
man.
Kirk had 23 for 32. Was he good Kirk or bad Kirk? Did he hit his?
Kirk.
Did he
was
hit
good.
his? Did he hit
Shut
his
up with the
first
good
long
Kirk, bad
pass?
Kirk. No. Shut up with the good Kirk, bad Kirk. He was good Kirk.
Did he hit his first long
He has
pass?
been for the last 6 weeks. He's been.
I mean, he played a good game, man.
He was decent.
I mean, what more do you want from the guy? The
To
Vikings
hit
put up
when-
28 points and they won.
When Rudolph
for
was
as much-
wide open long and he throws it to the right and off.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
you
I
know
want.
For as much excuses he made for Teddy Bridgewater, listen to him rip on Kirk. For
Oh,
everything he does.
absolutely.
What about
I love Teddy Bridgewater.
You know, he could do no wrong in your eyes, but you rip on
Right.
Kirk Cousins.
But I was the one at the time advocating to keep him and going against Kirk. I'm consistent.
Kirk Cousins is playing good football. He's not turning it over.
He's playing
That's what
decent football.
The argument always comes back to that. What's his problem? At the beginning of the season, we all had a discussion about it, and Ted said if that guy could stop turning the ball over, he'd be allowed. He'd start with not turning the ball over. He has
And that
3
he's
interceptions
done.
all season. He's done that.
Yes.
3 interceptions all season, Dave. 3.
Yes, he's done that. I appreciate that.
He's cut down the turnovers.
I appreciate that. And the Vikings
Do you?
are 7-3
Because
because
you don't
of
seem
it.
like you do.
Do you see how many
Well,
passes Drew Brees sailed today? Did you
Oh,
see how many
he-
passes
that
Patrick
was
Mahomes sailed wide
unbelievable.
today?
Yeah, he was off.
It happens, dude. The only pass I thought was weird in this game was I thought BC Johnson might have been open on that one play. Somebody said on the thread that he was looking at Diggs the whole time. There was a trail route where BC Johnson was on the back line of the end zone. I thought he had an opening to get him the ball there. But you know what? He didn't throw a pick.
Oh, when Kirk threw it kind of into the
Yeah.
third row.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought BC
Yeah.
Johnson. I thought that
Well,
was a
there
little
were
bit of
some
an-
good throwaways by Kirk today. I appreciate that. I remarked on that. But it was good. Overall, we did good. We won the game. We needed to go in to Dallas on turf, under the roof, even though it was an away game in prime time, and we
improve
won.
on. I'm interested in it. I want to hear it. I want to hear. What do you think he needs to improve on, Dave?
Who, Kirk?
Kirk hit
Yeah.
passes like those to that he missed to Rudolph, who was wide open deep, and Rudolph can't run that fast, and he threw it to the right. But other than that, I'm cool with that. He tends to focus on players, but hey, I'm good. He's working it. I'm not disagreeing. We win. I'm happy.
Okay.
Only thing, the only decision I would question from Kirk tonight was that 2-minute drive, which I will caveat by saying that was a great 2-minute drive. The Vikings generally aren't very good with 2-minute drives, and I thought he engineered a very good 2-minute drive, and they were on the 10-yard line or whatever it was, and then with like 10 seconds left and one timeout, they were on right around the 10-yard line. And he just kind of threw it over the middle to Irv, which had no chance of going in the end zone. I would have argued to maybe at least throw it in the end zone. If there's nothing there, throw it away. You got time for maybe one more play with the timeout.
Right.
And then kick the field goal. But they still got, which is a plus. And it turned out to be a big deal. Right? I'm not saying it wasn't a big deal. They got points and they got a little bit of momentum back after Dallas had come back to tie it at 14. And I thought that was a very important drive for the Vikings to regain momentum because they got the ball to start the second half. So, all in all, it was good. I just would have liked to have seen them take a shot at the end zone and maybe get a touchdown. Other than that, I thought he had a good game.
He seems a little bit more the last month or so gun shy down in the red zone.
A little bit.
He doesn't want to throw. He doesn't want to make the big mistake, and that might have been a discussion he's had with the coaching staff. But he seems like, I mean, not all the time. He threw that one into Diggs. He should have caught that ball in the end zone. Diggs should have had that thing. That was a perfect pass, dude. But
that was a good play by the defensive back, though. I will say.
Kirk Cousins is not turning the ball over, and I am
Which is
happy with
wonderful.
it. That's fine.
Switching the subject. Cali Kid 619 says, I think he's feeling out until the bye, which makes sense for his hammy. And then same thing for Klein. It looks like Klein got his second concussion of the season. We obviously needed him, but what's his name?
Dakota Dozier?
Yeah. Came in and did well. I agree. We play the Broncos next at home. That should be, quote, an easy game.
Oh, fuck.
I hate that.
Dude, what's he doing? What
I
did
know.
he just do?
No such
Ted,
thing
stop.
as easy in the NFL. There's nothing
Ted,
easy in the
stop
NFL.
him. Stop him, Ted. Oh, jeez.
But I agree.
Rewind that and erase it. Easy game.
No, I agree. But Dave, I agree. Yeah. And for what it's worth, Dakota Dozier, when he's come into play for Josh Klein or for Pat Elflein, he's played very well. He's done. I mean, he had. God, there was a play that sprung Dalvin Cook for a big game. Dozier came from the right side and blew up his guy that sprung Cook for a 15, 20-yard run.
Right, and you can't beat that with a stick.
And he was very good in pass protection. So I'm okay with Dakota Dozier for like a game and then going to the bye and see how Klein's doing. I would argue that down in the red zone where the Vikings are struggling, you talked about the Kirk Cousins struggling in the red zone. I think that kind of coincides with Adam Thielen going out. The guy is such a red zone target.
That's a good point. That's a good correlation.
If Thielen comes back after the bye, the red zone Vikings have had the last 2 or 3 games will probably be alleviated greatly. Just my opinion.
Billy the Kid, William E. wonders if I've just put the whammy on us. I don't think so.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Let's wait. Next week we got Denver. Let's start over. Denver's a good team.
Yeah,
Denver's a really good team.
I'm here at Denver. They're about to burn down the training facility because
we're going to have to do everything. We're going to have to dig deep for that victory. We're going to have to play hard. We're going to have to outcoach them. We're going to have to outplay them. Denver is a good team. We got to play hard to beat them. There. Easy game. Dallas defense really let them down tonight, guys. I'm looking at this stuff we talked about the other day before we did the trivia, which was really fun, by the way. Dallas is only averaging 17 points allowed. They gave up 28 to us tonight.
Wow. At home. That's pretty good.
At home. And we could have had 35 on that pick 6. Hughes just dropped that thing. He had it.
Pretty good night for the Vikings offense.
They only give up 95 yards rushing a game, and we shattered that. Mm-hmm. So defensively, I think our defense let them down, or our offense is just shut up.
James Sinks, right. Had to work while the game was on. Sorry about that, James. How did Dak put up 390 yards on us?
James, that's no excuse. Work. We don't want to hear about that anymore. Next time you make sure you're in the game.
Yeah, James, what do you have your priorities in order?
Come on, man.
The fact that the defense, as all season, bends but not breaks.
They broke tonight, though.
They broke, but they didn't break enough. We still won. They held on that last freaking drive.
The defense they bent, and then they broke, but they didn't break enough. They had a boom, they had a pop.
Man,
a boom.
He's totally mad. Dave, what about that guy's ATM that got stabbed 7 times? Well, Drew, he might have backed into the knife 7 times.
Hey.
He might have backed into it. You don't know that.
He bent the knife, but he didn't break it off in his ribs.
That's right. Eddie Van Halen, Broadmichael, right. Looking forward to sacking Flacco 12 times. Well, that's if Flacco actually plays.
Flacco's hurt, right? Don't they have like some rookie playing for them now?
Yeah, but we'll see.
Yeah, those backup quarterbacks, we do well against them.
They'll probably put up 420 and 4 TDs next week. Vikings will win 42-38.
Up 1-2 against backup quarterbacks. I don't want to talk any smack about playing a backup quarterback.
Bryant Rude reminds us that we have Denver at home. Yes, we do. And being at home we have the home field advantage. Why? Because Minnesota Vikings fans absolutely rock. They make noise. They make it impossible for the offense to call plays and options, and they get it done.
You know, I got to tell you, when you're at home, you got to make home field advantage. And then you got to get a pow. And then you got to get a boom. You're killing me, Dave. I love you, man.
Hey, I'm just
the guy
incorporating our viewers that are watching. And it is true, because at home we have the advantage. Why? Because the fans.
We just asked about why did Dak get passing yards, right? On your screen. Who was that? James? The guy that picks work over the Vikings, which means he's probably...
Well, it's not that he picks it. He probably has to. I wouldn't give him that. I give him kudos for actually working for a living.
They got so many yards. All you got to do is look at Elliott's yards. That's how they got so many yards passing, because the running game wasn't working at all.
Right.
So Dallas, offensively, Dallas went about it the right way. They kind of, I mean, you never want to give up on Zeke Elliott, but they kind of just went, this isn't working at 14-0, and they made some adjustments. I thought it was pretty good on their part. But that's why Dak. Plus our secondary sucks. That's how you.
There's a key point. This secondary 2 years ago does not give up 397 yards. They just don't.
No, not 2 years ago, but they're getting old. We talked about that.
It can't be that from 2 years ago. How much do you age in 2 years? They're not out in space, for fuck's sake.
Well, they do age. They hit that cliff. The quarterbacks hit that 28, 29 cliff and fall off, going, woo.
Rhodes
talked about that.
Good. Rhodes hasn't been good in 2 years. Waynes was out. You're playing a young guy in Mike Hughes who's, doesn't even have 12 games under his belt.
Right.
With that injury and everything else. It's a gamer, and I think Mike Hughes is going to be good. He drew a tough assignment tonight with Amari Cooper. And I think
agree. I agree.
I mean, part of it was, the Vikings have played really soft coverage. The one thing I really liked about Mike Zimmer's defense when he first got here was he played tight man press coverage, and it just feels like the Vikings are playing off 7, 8, 10 yards. And then you throw in the fact Mike Hughes has to cover a guy like Amari Cooper, and then you add to that Amari Cooper just made some just highlight reel, 3 or 4 just highlight reel catches where they were just perfectly thrown balls by Dak Prescott. And only a guy like Amari Cooper or maybe Thielen or Diggs
or Chris Carter back in the day,
Jones, maybe 3 or 4 receivers in the entire NFL could have made those catches.
Maybe it was every
single one.
Here, listen to these numbers going into today. Vikings defense overall 7th, passing defense 8th, rushing defense 9th, scoring defense 4th. I mean, those are high numbers.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just, how are we the 8th best passing defense in the league? Are we just not playing people who pass?
I think Trey Waynes being out really was a lot more significant than a lot of people would like to admit. Trey Waynes isn't nearly as bad as people are making him out to be, and I think that was kind of shown tonight.
And it seemed like we were very uncertain back there without him. It seemed like they're a lot more calmed down, and a lot more. They got their structure, their alignment seemed to be better. That's where it was off tonight. There was a lot of guys running around the fire drill type stuff.
Yeah.
I think with Wayne's in there, it's a lot more settled down. Everybody knows their role. I think maybe tonight was just an off night, but that was the worst I've seen the secondary look in a lot of games, guys.
Bryant Root comments, interesting to see how much they attacked Hughes tonight. Shows how well Waynes is respected.
Yeah. I mean, either that or Rhodes. I mean,
his next comments was Rhodes.
If you're the Dallas Cowboys and you've got a guy with a proven track record like Xavier Rhodes does over the course of his career versus a guy like Mike Hughes, who essentially in a lot of ways is still a rookie, especially coming off that knee injury.
Sure.
I'm gonna put Amari Cooper on Mike Hughes, and I'm gonna throw to Cooper until Mike Hughes proves he can stop it. And he didn't. Other than he made 2 good plays in the second quarter, and that was really about it.
You know what, guys? We get these guys off the field on half of those amount of third downs they converted on. This game we're blowing doors on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We're winning this game by 20 points.
Yeah.
The fact that they were converting those third downs, it was keeping them alive. But in the beginning of the third quarter, they were like 7 for 10 on third down, which is crazy, dude. I mean, if the Vikings, that's what was keeping them in the game, is the Vikings allowing them to be. But if we won the game, and I feel really good about it. But
a win is a win, man.
They got a lot of work going forward, but they found a way to get it done, baby.
It's hard to win in the NFL. It's a lot harder to win on the road.
We let them back in, but we didn't break. We did not break. We held to get it done, and that's all. Come on, Ted, you're watching this game, waiting. When it became 21-20, I know you, bro. You were going, oh shit, here we go.
I was irritated. When it was 21-20, I thought the Vikings really need to answer right now, and they did. They came back and they did. And to their credit, they went on that epic drive and they scored a touchdown and they converted the 2-point extra point try. And I was like, all right. I think
that was a great call, by the way.
We can call that a dagger drive, can't we? Even though it was early.
It was. I mean, it turned out to be the difference in the game.
Yeah.
And Zimmer, to Mike Zimmer's credit, he played to win. He didn't play not to lose by going for that 2-point conversion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. With that, let's wrap up this show. This is Good Morning Gjallarhorn in the Raw. We just won at Dallas 28-24 to go 7-3 on the season. Drew, have you got any last words?
Meow, meow, Viking cow, and I will see you cats on the flip-flop. Later.
Ted.
Have another drink, Dave.
Super Bowl homeboy, we will see you in Miami.
Skol, Vikings! Enjoy the win. Enjoy the week.
Fuck it, Jason Garrett, you freaking loser.
Vikings win. Vikings win. Play that damn song.
Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. Yeah.
Everybody that joined us, thank you very much. And so Vikings.